If you want to dress well in summer or in a hot climate, it can be a bit tricky because you don't really have a lot of layering options available, so compared to winter or fall, we simply cannot get as creative with our looks. But we can still try to dress our best even in the heat of summer. There are 3 important considerations for summer style that you must keep in mind. Let's start with the first one. In my opinion, the most critical factor is the right fabrics. And my personal top 5 summer cloth options are the following. The first option would be linen, because linen is naturally breathable and has a nice cooling effect. It can also absorb quite a bit of moisture before feeling damp, which comes in really handy in summer. Another thing I noticed is that it tends to dry faster than most cotton options, and it also doesn't stick to your skin when it's wet. Additionally, linen has this really interesting texture, which adds a lot of visual interest to your outfit. The only downside is that it wrinkles easily, although in my opinion, I think the wrinkles can actually add an interesting touch. I would say that about 80% of my summer wardrobe is made from linen, especially my trousers and my shirts. Hemp actually shares similar characteristics with linen, but it's a lot less common in menswear. But I think it's still worth to mention it here in the linen section. Next up, we have lightweight open weave wool. This type of fabric can be ideal for formal summer trousers or jackets, for example if you have to dress up for work or if you're going to attend events like a wedding or funeral. It's woven with finer yarns and a looser weave, allowing for increased airflow and breathability. The great thing about this fabric is that it's pretty wrinkle resistant. You just need to hang up your trousers at the end of the day and most of the wrinkles will be gone in the morning. It's also more comfortable than linen because even the finest linen will always feel a little bit rougher on the skin than a really soft wool fabric, and on top of that, linen also doesn't stretch. I know that it seems counterintuitive to wear wool during summer because we always just think of heavy wool suits for winter or maybe of sweaters, but the right type of wool can actually be really comfortable and cooling in summer. For example, I have this jacket here by Tagliatore, which is in a really light wool fabric and it's very comfortable and breathable. I would say that it's even more breathable than many of my linen jackets. The next summer fabric would be seersucker, and seersucker is a wonderful fabric for summertime. In the end, it's just cotton, but woven in a specific way that creates a puckered appearance. This type of weave is very breathable and has a nice cooling effect. Seersucker has a very unique look and typically comes with 2 colors and vertical stripes. This style is best suited for summer shirts and suits, but in my opinion, the suits won't be the most versatile ones. I personally prefer the look of solid color seersucker. For example, if you can get a navy or brown seersucker sport coat, it's going to look amazing and is much more versatile than the regular striped versions. The only downside is that solid colored seersucker tends to be more expensive than the classic version and is rarer to find. The next fabric on the list is cotton. A lot of people recommend cotton for summer, but I don't fully agree with this because not all clothes made from cotton are the same. Most chinos, for example, are pretty thick and not very comfortable in summertime. So you want to look for items made from cotton with an open weave that is very light. A good but not perfect test is to hold your clothes against the light, because that way you can get a better look at the texture of the fabric. And the more light you can see, generally the more breathable it's going to be. But keep in mind that this test is better done with darker colors because a really light cloth is always going to be somewhat opaque. For example, the chinos that I have right here, they are very thick, and if I hold them against the light, I can barely see through them, and these type of pants are definitely not ideal for summertime. Instead, if you want to wear chinos in summer, then you want to either go for linen or maybe cotton and linen blend, or you want to go for a version of cotton that's very light and breathable. And then lastly, you can also get clothes made from a mix of fabrics. For jackets and overshirts, you can for example try a linen wool silk blend, which is quite breathable because of the linen, but then the wool and silk also make it softer and more wrinkle resistant. A linen cotton blend is also interesting, especially for trousers or for shirts, because it is more breathable than pure cotton and wrinkles less than pure linen. The next important factor is the construction of your clothes. This is especially important for your trousers, your shoes and your jackets, because in summer you generally want to go for a lighter construction. So in the case of jackets and trousers, that would mean going with as little lining as required. You could have a linen sport coat for example, but if it's fully lined, it kind of defeats the purpose. And the same is true with trousers. Except for white trousers or fabrics that are very opaque, try to go with as little lining as possible. And the same goes for shoes. You want to to opt for light construction as well. To give you an example, I have these two loafers right here, and this one is probably at least twice as heavy as the loafer right here. It's a beautiful and very sturdy shoe, but unless I would be invited to some formal event during summer, I probably wouldn't wear these too often. In general, I want to go for something a little bit on the lighter end, ideally unlined as well, because that's going to be a lot more comfortable and breathable in summertime. And suede in general can always feel a little bit lighter and breathable than regular leather. Braided leather shoes can also be more breathable than regular leather, but of course you can also go for espadrilles, which are very lightweight and breathable. Just don't wear them when you're going to be walking all day, because the sole is usually not the most comfortable. The last factor is the right fit. Getting the fit right is crucial in summer, because if you wear overly tight clothes, you're going to look and feel like a sausage on the grill. Tight clothes leave little room for air circulation, and especially with linen, you want to allow for a bit of extra room. And that's because linen does not naturally stretch, so if you wear tight linen shirts or pants, they can be pretty uncomfortable. But on the flip side, you also don't want to go overboard and wear clothes that are too large or too baggy, because that's not the most flattering option either. You just want to leave a little bit of extra room so it still looks good and is not too baggy. And additionally, it's always a good idea to avoid darker colors, because they tend to absorb more heat than lighter colors. Especially light colored trousers are very versatile and can be combined with almost anything on your upper body. Those were my tips for dressing well in a hot climate. If you have any tips to add, then please write them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, you're going to like this video right here, where I go over a couple of classy summer outfits.